Welcome to the Brightstar Lifestyle Podcast, where we say yes to joy. Brightstar Lifestyle is in the business of improving life, equipping people with knowledge and skills. We specialize in personal development and guide people and organizations through a life-changing journey. Enjoy! Good day, Bright Stars. Today we are talking to Anton Meyer. Anton was a headmaster of Grooteskuur Primary School, and it is so interesting to listen to Anton and hear about his life, but also his way of thinking and his way of listening. So when you look at Anton's business card, it says, Anton Meyer, knowledge sharer, promoter of encouraging and curious minds. That is just a mouthful in a few words. So, Anton, I welcome again. It's so nice that we can continue our conversation with you. And anyone that did not hear his previous talk, please go and look on Brightstar Lifestyle YouTube channel that you can get the first conversation also. But Anton, when we were talking, I was really encouraged and inspired with your way of thinking about transformation. Will you share a little bit with us when you started your new position at the school, and there was how many kids were involved and what happened? I know there was something very interesting that you did when you started showing the way that you are going to work. So please share that with us. We want to learn about transformational thinking and doing.
Yeah. Well, it started with a business card too. It started with my reading of people that transformed their environment and their landscape. And there was something in this that came from my dad. My dad had a men's shop, and he did a window dressing. And there was always interesting things. I couldn't wait to come to my dad's shop to see how interesting he did things. My business card was actually to shock people, maybe not really shock, but to make them interested that I want to do something different. I changed my business card over years, even a learning person at infinitum. So I think some people would mock me, but I couldn't care because I had a slogan that I made up myself. If you don't stir a swimming pool, it gets algae. And I was a stirrer, and I tried to transform things. So when we came into the hall, for instance, the kids sit there. They don't want to hear a headmaster Monday talk about how to conform to the school. They want to hear interesting things. So when I walked down the passages there, I just said, smile, smile, smile. And if I turned around, I could see smiles. And that refers back to the cognitive behavioral modification. You modify your behavior. If you feel down, sit up straight, you feel different. So I also like to make teachers think. So one day, I'm thinking of something else. On my door, I wrote, solve your problems before you come in here. Because teachers are inclined to think you must solve the problem. They don't think, not all of them, but for themselves, and bring me 2 or 3 possible solutions. So the one day,
how I grew up, my dad always said, bring me your solutions, not your problems. So I connect with what you are saying. Thank you, Anton.
Yeah, I was the one Bible verse that always stood out for me is in Romans 12, I think it's verse 2, renew your mind on a daily basis. I mean, Christ says this. I mean, how renewing is that to hear that? And change the pattern. So on my desk, I had the thing, if you don't live on the edge, you're taking up too much space. And I lived that really. I also came in with a motorbike when 1994, when we changed a new government that gave the Amandla sign, and people accepted that. But now I'm getting away from myself. Renewing your mind. I got the workers in that morning because I was going to talk about Romans 12 verse 2. So I changed all the chairs, not me. I've asked the workers to change it. And when the children came and the teachers came, the first question on a Monday morning, the teacher asked me, what's going on? So I said, work it out for yourself. The grade 7 sit at the back or in front now, and I turned it around completely. And then I was talking about renewing of your mind. This one example of children will remember this, not because of me, because of the ingredients I've changed about it. It's the same thing that I said in the previous podcast. People talk about cliches. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. They just say it. They don't change. So transformation was always a thing that I enjoyed. As I said, I came in one day with a 1,000cc motorbike. Now, who a headmaster doesn't come a motorbike in a hall? It's the old headmaster. Always, it was a holy place for them. For me, it was an active place.
What I'm also thinking, Anton, is this was not yesterday or last week. This was a few years ago. So that definitely puts a light on what we are talking about here. I want to ask you that your school did a lot of transformational things, and it had an impact in our culture. It had an impact in South Africa. How did it influence other schools in the area? The guts to stand up, to show up, and to be there. And it was not easy. How did you experience that? And what happened when you started? Us as a school think differently. What effect did it have on others?
Well, in 1990, the government, there was a window period, even before 94, that's 4 years, that you can open your school to all races. And I think it comes from my father. My father always said to me, all cultures must be respected. And that sat in me. And I decided we're going to jump for this. My golly, we opened the school the next day, and I'm getting goosebumps here as I'm talking to you. I was in the newspapers. It was a little bit overwhelming for me because I got phone calls from all over South Africa, maybe not the next day, but the next week. And they asked me to come and talk to some schools. And I went all over the place to talk to schools. And then when I come in here, I was very brave. But when I saw sometimes animosity, or I couldn't always sort of reflect what it was. And I had various questions about this. And I told them, I remember this was my saying, if you want to go over to Drakensberg, you're welcome. And that Concorde just came out. I said, we're taking the Concorde. And the only person that wants to change is a baby in a wet nappy. And change you have. And then slowly but surely, the people started talking in groups, because I did group talking, and then they bought into this situation. But I remember I got flack sometimes in the newspaper, but I said in Afrikaans, I remember I said, ek gaan nie sooi brandjie ook kry nie. That's Afrikaans for reflux or something.
Yes.
So God was good to me. I've asked for the renewing of the mind my whole life, and He gave me the guts to go, because I got flack from people, but mostly I got good reports, especially from the government. I spoke to the government, the core of the government. They invited me to come and speak to them because they wanted to see how things going. The thing is, I waited about 2 months to get a person from color in there, and that was anxious for me. I waited a long time. I don't know why, because everybody was sort of waiting and to see what's going to happen now.
Yeah. I see a connection, and maybe you can help me to understand that. And that is, if we really love people and we're obedient to God, transformation will be part of our lives. As you said, with change, one of our facilitators always say that it's only dead fish that swim with the stream. So the idea that if you know your values, if you know your life purpose, if you believe that people deserve to be acknowledged and that their voices deserve to be heard, then transformation will be part of it. Is that a cheap way of thinking, or do you think we can connect those?
Well, when that opportunity came, I was convicted, and I think it's by the Spirit. The Holy Spirit convicted me. That's the way to go. I wasn't trying to be the first. But, I love people. I love to have an impact on children and to transform them. A child was standing outside my office. He was a prefect, and I could see this child has got a problem. So I called him in. Can't remember his name. His name was Michiel, and I asked him, "What do you want to tell me? Is there something wrong with you?" Because I could see on his face there's something wrong. And he told me that his father really was not a good father. He hit him often, and he scolded on him. And so I said to him, "Do you want me to talk to your father?" And he said no. And that child came to me many, many times and spoke to me one-on-one. If I walked on the field, he was there. My problem is, how many children have I missed, and that I could help with transformation? Because I'm telling you in a nutshell quickly about this, and I spent hours with this child. And he said to me, "I wish you were my father." And I told him, "But I can't be your father." And I assisted him how to address his father. I don't know what happened to him further. But transformation is the name of the game.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we will have to say goodbye. But once again, I want to honor you and thank you for the fact that some people, when they go into their 70s, they start retiring and just looking at life and just enjoying the past. But I can see that you are not stopping yet. So thank you for that. I can see the refiring happening and not the retiring. And thank you for using your voice. Last week you were part of our Brightstar mentor program, and I was so excited to know that your wisdom needs to be shared with a lot of people. So using the skills of mentoring and coaching, still doing being part of transformation in people's lives. So thank you for that. We honor you. And once again, when I asked Anton if people would, if I can direct people to his website or something, he said, "Give my number to them, let them call me so that we can have a chat." So I really am impressed by that. And therefore, Anton's number is 073 172 4859. You can contact Anton or contact Brightstar Lifestyle to get his number so that you can get some nice conversations going on transformation. Thank you, Anton, for the privilege to speak to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
Have a great day and shine bright, all of you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today. You can visit us at www.brightstarlifestyle.co.za. Keep on shining.